Hello everyone, welcome to episode 1 of Ableton Lessons. Today I shall show you how to do basic things in Ableton. Now of course I won't show you guys sadly how to download Ableton or how to find it, but you usually find Ableton on Ableton's website. You can also, I can recommend what version of Ableton to get is this Live Suite version of Ableton. That's the one I'm going to be using, but you can usually find most of these rules apply to every version of Ableton. Now, when you download Ableton, of course, it will be in your folders. I recommend you make sure it's on your Windows screen to make sure you can find easy access to it. For me, it's over here. But when I open Ableton up, I click on it and I'll give it a couple seconds. And it will open up here. It will open up this screen right here. Now, this screen right here is a screen that, in my mind, a lot of people can get used, but it's relatively the first timer screen, and it's, in my mind, quite confusing to most people who use it, because they're used to seeing a different screen that I'm going to mostly be focusing on throughout these videos, and that is this screen right here. But I will quickly go over what this screen is. This is a screen that's simply known as the viewing screen. It basically allows you to basically see your tracks easily, allow you to do things that are relatively, make certain tasks easier is what I'm trying to say. Now, you can click these two buttons here to switch tracks. Now, also in this episode, I will also go over some little wee tidbits and some useful tricks that in my mind that. Also in this episode, I will go over tricks and tidbits that in my mind everyone should know for Ableton. And I will start off with this bit right over here. This is your metronome. Metronome is something that is always in time with the speed of the song. So if I click this one right here, what is the metronome activate, and play it, you can't see it because I haven't zoomed in yet, but I'll quickly zoom in right now so you can see it will stay in time with these black lines, what is basically your beat of the bar, your beats of the song. So you can see it will stay in time. Now with this metronome, you can in fact increase or decrease how long the song is, and it will actually stay in time. So let's say I decrease the song to 94. Let's say if I drag it on and decrease the song to 94, you can see here it's slower. And if I was to increase the song, it's time to 199, you can see it's faster. Now this isn't the speed for the metronome, this is the speed for the entire song. Now another handy dandy thing with this is this tap feature. Basically a feature that allows you to tap out a beat of a song. So let's say if you don't know what BPM the song is, but let's say if you can tap it out, but you can keep in time with it, then you can do this. So let's say for example, I play the metronome, I can then go tap this out, and basically as you can see it will change the length of the song. Another thing I did, but I did it earlier on, but I'll explain right now, is the zoom in feature where you can zoom in and out by moving the mouse, by having the mouse up here, but you can also press the command D, and you can press the command key D to scroll in and scroll out. Another useful thing is this little, it's down here, it's down right here. This is called the information view. It basically tells you what everything is if you scroll over it in a lot of detail basically, but you can basically see the title of things. Don't worry, I will try my hardest to explain what something is without you needing to know what it's called, but if I do ever use the name of something, then you can usually highlight this and see what I mean. Now, I will now go into how to insert clips into tracks. Tracks are these sections in Ableton. These are basically your sections where you can get sound through, and I will show you how to insert them for MIDI and for audio. To insert an audio track, first of all, you will need to come over here into this input channel. Now, this input channel will automatically be set to 1 and 2, what is for a stereo mix, but I'm not going to go into that today. You need to change this input channel to either 1 or 2 or 1 for depending on what your input is. Of course, some people may not have an input, but this is just for if you do. But before you can start recording, you need to first arm your track. To arm a track, you must go over here and press this little wee circle button right here. It's next to this button, but I'll explain what this button does in a couple seconds. You can press, when you press this button, you will know it's working if you see this grey outline. This grey outline is actually what's coming through into the microphone with my voice, but it won't be recorded. The reason why that's the case, we have to change these buttons right here. You need to change this from off to auto or in. Now you can probably hear my voice doubling a little bit, but that's fine. So when you hear my voice doubling, it means that it is working. But here's another quick thing. When this is activated, then you need to press record. Hit record, and as you can see, my voice is getting printed onto Ableton right now. It's taking it in for your audio. And now if I play it back, you will hear exactly what I just stated. Record, and as you can see, my voice is getting printed onto Ableton right now. It's taking it in for your audio. That's how you record instruments into Ableton. Now we're going to go into how to insert a clip into MIDI, but in order to do that, we need an instrument in MIDI. To do that, we come over here and go over our library. A library consists of a lot of different things, but I will be going over some of them in the future. For now, we only need to focus on instrument, drums, and sounds, because all three of these contain our musical equipment that we can use to put MIDI. All these contain our musical instrument that we can use. For now, let's just focus on sound, and I'm going to specifically choose to get keyboard, piano, and keys using this sound file selector. Now, this is quite useful because it means you can cheat basically, and you don't have to sit through all these. Like I put on these, you can hear they're all different. But if I click on guitar and pluck, you can hear the more focus on guitar-like sounds. But I'm going to use piano keys. As you see now, I can click them to get an example of what they are. So I'm going to quickly find them. I'm just going to quickly find a decent sound piano. So, and when I find that piano, I will drag it into my MIDI channel. When my MIDI channel is there, I can then access the clips. When my MIDI channel is there, I can now start inserting the clips. When I find the sound that I want to use, I can then drag it into my first MIDI channel, drop it in, and then I can start inserting the clips into MIDI. The term clips basically means what I'm about to show you next. Some different softwares call them differently, but in Ableton they call them clips. By me double clicking on this track line, on this main line, I can then get this to pop up. This is a MIDI clip that's basically looped. And by me zooming in, I can show you what I mean by looped. If I extend this and if I zoom in really close, you can see this little wee black dash. This black dash basically represents the looping point of the song, of the clip. But whatever you ask me you don't want to loop, don't worry, we'll get to that soon. Now, I can drag this bottom bit up here by going in between our time ruler and well, the bottom bit, and then drag this up here. And this will show a lot of different things. In particular, it will show our MIDI note editor, or as most people call it, a MIDI keyboard. This basically shows you this basically shows you the notes that you can play on MIDI. So and it also allows you to put notes in. So let's say if I double click and put a note in, you will see that note put in right here. And you also see the looping point, the looping point. Now, this gives some quick tips on this little wee MIDI keyboard. First of all, it's relatively easy to use as one, you don't need to play instruments in, you can just program the notes in. Two, there's a couple hotkeys you can use. For example, you don't have to double click to add in a new note every time. You can instead hover over something, hold in Alt, and you can drag a copy of said note. You can also change the length of said note by dragging it shorter, but you can also make it longer by extending it. You can also change how hard the key has been pressed by going down here and dragging down. Well, it will symbolize this by changing color, basically. By changing color. Now, there's also another useful tip here if you want to hear how it will sound. By clicking these headphones, you will then hear what the note is when you play it in. But then, if you also drag it, you can also hear it too. For me, I won't be having this on, so you can at least hear me when I'm talking. Now, here's some other useful things over here in this clip window. In this clip window, you can see some useful things already here. In particular, this precision and length thing right here underneath this loop. This basically tells you how long your loop is. Now you can increase the segments of this loop. Also, just to let you know, these numbers basically means how long the number is basically from up here. So it says 1.1.2. That's, so if I set that right there, 1.1.2, it'll basically always loop at that number for you. Most times though, don't worry, most times people just have it on the straight like 1 bar loop basically, because that is the most simplest way to do it. Now you can have it start at any time and end at any time, but to answer our question properly, some people's minds earlier on, to get this unloopified, you just press the loop button and it will no longer be looped. That segment of the song will no longer be looped. Well, more accurately, the entire song will be. And you can just drag it in and out, extend it and shrink it like that. Now then, but let's see what happens if you don't know how to, well, play by scale. Well, that's what this useful button here is for. This is the scale button. When you press it, everything will be highlighted in purple. Well, not everything, all the correct scales to the scale you set will be highlighted in purple. So right now I'm scale C, so that means all these scales right now, well, are really good if you want to keep in that scale. Let's say if I change it to scale D, as you can see, everything changed. And it even has the main scale highlighted here. So let's say if you want to quickly, I don't know, play at scale D8 for example, you can quickly find D8, or you can go back to D2. There's also another useful button, and that's the scale button. By pressing the scale button, you can fold the scale into itself, and only those scale notes will be playing. So let's say if I put these two in, what looks like to be next to each other, if I unscale it, they're not next to each other. You press fold, it only shows those two scale numbers. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. next episode, I will be going over how to build a drum rack, and I hope you all have a good day.